Why is it so rare that the public gets to see Eminem nowadays? What's going on?
Why is it like that? I actually need him to make my...
Yes, I want to say, Marshall, I could not let this day go by without congratulating you on your induction to the Hall of Fame. I love you very much. I knew you'd get there, and it's been a long ride. I'm very, very proud of you. And also, I'm very proud of Haley Jade, my baby girl. And I want to tell you, Haley, great job on your podcast. And God bless you guys. I love you very much.
Eminem's rise to fame has always been tied to his raw, emotional storytelling and his complicated relationship with his mother, Debbie, who became one of the most talked about aspects of his music.
She is my mother. I do love her, and I think I got a better understanding of what she was going through or what she...
But what if there's more to the story than we ever knew? 50 Cent just dropped a bombshell that's shaking up the rap world, revealing a jaw-dropping connection between the death of Eminem's mom and none other than Sean Combs.
Why have you never stood next to nobody? Because you studied the 48 Laws of Power.
Nah, man, that's... And he knew exactly what I meant, because he'd been standing next to something his entire career.
Right.
He stood next to Biggie, you put hot on him. That's stand next to the fight if you want, right? You stood next to Mace, stood next to Jock. Look, Puffy might be the destination for anybody going nowhere.
He's not wrong. Y'all are
Nobody survived him.
You all are
Look at it.
Yeah.
Please, people, help me help you. Who's first?
Fans are losing their minds over this revelation, wondering if there's a darker side to the industry that's been buried for years. The truth could change everything we thought we knew about Eminem's journey and the role Diddy may have played in one of the most heartbreaking chapters of his life. Let's dive into this explosive claim and see how deep the story really goes. Eminem and 50 Cent share one of the most iconic friendships in hip-hop history, a bond forged in mutual respect, loyalty, and a shared love for the craft. Since their early days, 50 Cent has been more than just a collaborator to Eminem. He's been like family. For someone like Eminem, who's often described his childhood as a whirlwind of neglect, dysfunction, and chaos, 50 Cent became a rare figure of unwavering support. Through the years, their camaraderie wasn't just about music. It was about helping each other heal and thrive. 50 Cent often credits Eminem for giving him his big break in the industry, while Eminem has spoken about how 50 helped him step out of his shell and find a sense of belonging that he had missed growing up.
Habits for Crack a Bottle. I couldn't even have that without him, and that's why I have so much value for him, not just in my career, just in my life, because he's a guy that, one of my best friends.
To understand the depth of Eminem's friendship with 50 Cent, it's crucial to look at the scars that shaped Eminem's life. Scars inflicted by a deeply fractured relationship with his mother, Debbie Nelson. The tension between the two was no secret. Eminem laid bare their struggles in his music, from the biting lines in My Name Is to the scathing confessions of cleaning out my closet. My mother started screaming, "What are you on, D's? Look at you. You're getting blood all over my rug. I'm sorry." She beat me over the head with a remote control, opened a hole, and my whole brain fell out of my skull. For much of his career, Eminem painted his mother as neglectful and accusing her of D-use and blaming her for the instability he endured as a child. This wasn't just artistic expression. It was raw, unfiltered pain that resonated with fans who had their own troubled family histories. Debbie, however, didn't take these accusations lying down. In 1999, she filed a $10 million defamation lawsuit against her son, ultimately winning a settlement. The media frenzy only deepened the divide between them, with Debbie releasing a song of her own, Dear Marshall, and later penning a memoir, My Son Marshall, My Son Eminem, in which she sought to clear her name. The book painted her as a misunderstood single mother who did her best in impossible circumstances, a far cry from the villain depicted in her son's lyrics. Still, the damage to their relationship seemed irreparable. Despite the years of public feuding, there were signs of a thaw. In 2013, Eminem released Headlights, a poignant apology to his mother that caught fans off guard. He acknowledged his harsh words in earlier songs and expressed regret for the pain that he had caused her. In the track, Eminem admitted to being blinded by his anger and lamented the estrangement that had kept them apart. "'Cause to this day, we remain estranged, and I hate it though," he rapped, revealing a longing for reconciliation that had gone unspoken for years. But life has a cruel way of closing doors before they can fully reopen. Debbie Nelson's death this year from lung cancer marked the end of their complex, often heartbreaking relationship. For Eminem, the loss was devastating, regardless of the history they shared. After all, Debbie wasn't just the woman he had publicly criticized, she was his mother, the person who brought him into the world and shaped much of who he became, for better or worse. No amount of fame or fortune can insulate a person from the grief of losing a parent, especially when that relationship is layered with unresolved emotions. But despite facing emotional turmoil, Eminem performed for the first time since Mom Debbie's tragic death last week, but he decided to sing a controversial song about her. Debbie passed away on December 2nd after a battle with lung cancer, and sources have claimed that the real Slim Shady singer did not visit her. An insider told In Touch that Eminem was supporting his mom financially despite not speaking to her for years. The source also added that Eminem is good to his mom and takes care of her and might not have been fully aware of the severity of her condition. There are not many options for Debbie. She is currently staying between the cancer center and with family members. She has a very limited amount of time left. People around her aren't even sure if Eminem is even aware of what is happening to his mother. He is good to his mom. He makes sure to take care of her, but they don't really talk. It would be good for both of them to communicate. This could give them a chance to reconcile. Eminem wasn't the only one with complicated feelings about Debbie's passing. One of the earliest public responses came from his half-brother, Nathan Kane Mathers, who shared a raw and unfiltered reaction that reflected the complex emotions within the family. Instead of the typical expression of grief and sadness expected after a loved one's death, Nate's words painted a different picture: hatred and mixed emotions today. The 38-year-old wrote candidly on his Instagram story, offering a glimpse into the unresolved tensions that seem to surround Debbie's relationships even in her final days. Now, Eminem seems to be getting on with things, as he's announced on social media that he will be performing at several international shows in the Middle East this month and returned to the stage last night for a gig that was part of the Abu Dhabi F1 Grand Prix. And as always, 50 Cent, the loyal friend, reportedly stood by Eminem during this challenging time, offering the kind of support that only someone who truly understands can provide. The rapper has often spoken about how he views Eminem not just as a collaborator, but as a brother, someone who helped him through his own struggles. In moments of loss like this, that kind of bond becomes invaluable. You see, at the time of the book's release, Debbie was battling breast cancer and added, "I'm still under doctor's care, which I probably will be for a while. Basically, a lot of stuff is hereditary, but that happens. Cancers and heart disease and all that, and all the genetic things. I worry about my boys, having high blood pressure and things." She also said that she wrote the autobiography to jog Eminem's memory about the happy times in their life. "I'm a very proud mother. I don't think there's anything he can do to me that he hasn't already done through the media. Somebody had to get behind him, honey, to get him where he is today. I know there was many times he felt defeated and wanted to give up. Somebody had to get behind him to push him. And it sure as hell wasn't anybody else except me. He had no father in the picture." At the end of the day, Debbie Nelson was a mother who, despite her flaws and mistakes, loved her son in her own way. And for Eminem, her death is a reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of mending fences while there's still time. Whispers are growing louder, questioning if Diddy, often labeled an industry plant, could have been involved in the untimely demise of Debbie. It might sound absurd to entertain the notion that Diddy could have directly invoked lung cancer in her, but what if that wasn't the illness itself, but something more insidious? Imagine the possibility of medicine switches or interference leading to her short life. Far-fetched? Maybe, but stay with me because there's more to this story. Diddy's name has long been intertwined with tragedy, often raising eyebrows. Take Kim Porter, for example. Her death in 2018 was officially ruled as lobar pneumonia. Yet rumors persist, rumors that she might have been poisoned, with some pointing to missing personal devices like her laptop and phone as glaring red flags.
Having intimate relations with Sean Combs, how many of them appear to be either inebriated or intoxicated or under the influence?
All of them. All of them.
Out of those 8, how many appear to be potentially victimized? How many might have been victimizing?
I think all, to be honest, all.
Were victims?
They victims.
Former bodyguard Gene Deal questioned the circumstances surrounding Kim's death, even suggesting that a gold casket was ordered months before she passed. Coincidence? Others, like her ex, Al B. Sure, have gone further, publicly calling for an investigation into what he describes as her M. This isn't the first time Diddy's controversial past has come under scrutiny. Allegations of S misconduct, manipulation, and exploitation have long shadowed his career. Now, with federal racketeering and ST charges looming, fresh attention is being directed at the people in his orbit, both alive and gone. Let's not forget Jamie Foxx, a rare voice who dared to critique Diddy's infamous high-profile parties, allegedly featuring minors, illicit substances, and outrageous acts. These events have fueled years of speculation. Jamie himself might be caught in the crossfire, with Diddy's legal team pushing to unmask key witnesses, potentially dragging Jamie into the chaos. And then there's Jamie's own health scare. Hospitalized last year under mysterious circumstances. His daughter Corinne assured fans that it was a medical complication, but insiders claim Jamie himself had told police someone was targeting him.
Bad enough that family members from outside of Atlanta, there were some in Atlanta, but family members from outside flew in and rushed to the hospital to be by.
So back in April last year, fans were shocked to learn that Jamie Foxx had been hospitalized in Georgia due to a mysterious medical complication. Details were scarce, but the news was confirmed by Jamie's daughter, Corinne Foxx, who took to Instagram to share an update on behalf of the family. We wanted to share that my father, Jamie Foxx, experienced a medical complication yesterday. Luckily, due to quick action and great care, he is already on his way to recovery. We know how beloved he is and appreciate your prayers. The family asks for privacy during this time. Fans couldn't help but find it odd that Jamie Foxx's family and PR team remained tight-lipped about the exact cause of his sudden health scare. With nothing but vague updates during his 2-month hiatus, speculation ran wild. And then, out of nowhere, Jamie made this return to social media with a heartfelt video message addressing the ordeal. Thank you a billion to everybody. Been a long road, but all the prayers, great people, and God got me through, he shared, visibly emotional. But what really caught attention was Jamie's reasoning for keeping his recovery under wraps. I know a lot of people were waiting or wanting to hear updates, but to be honest with you, I just didn't want you to see me like that, man. I want you to see me laughing, having a good time, partying, cracking a joke, doing a movie, television show. I didn't want you to see me with tubes running out of me and trying to figure out if I was going to make it through. The industry's shadowy elite often protect their own. But as more allegations resurface, from Kim Porter's tragic passing to Jamie Foxx's chilling claims, the cracks in Diddy's carefully constructed empire may finally be showing. Will these whispers lead to justice, or will they fade away like so many others? Wendy Williams' battle with early-onset dementia has taken a troubling turn, as her court-appointed guardian, Sabrina E. Morrissey, reveals in new legal findings that the former talk show host is now cognitively impaired, permanently disabled, and legally incapacitated. But what if there's more to Wendy's decline than just her health struggles? Could it be that Wendy, like others before her, is paying the price for speaking out against Diddy? In case you didn't know, Wendy Williams has been an outspoken figure in the entertainment industry, never shy about airing her opinions, especially when it comes to the high-powered figures like Diddy.
Come from a very humble era of hip-hop as well. There was a radio personality once upon a time. Her name was Wendy Williams, and she was practically burned at the stake.
Her unfiltered commentary has often ruffled feathers. And now, as her health deteriorates, questions are surfacing. Is there a connection between her vocal stance on Diddy and the sudden onset of her medical issues? Morrissey's filing ties Wendy's decline to her diagnosis of frontotemporal dementia, FTD, a progressive condition that worsens over time. According to the documents, Wendy's guardianship case is intertwined with a shocking accusation against media companies that aired the controversial docuseries Where is Wendy Williams?, a project that documents her guardianship, health struggles, and life after the Wendy Williams show. The filing paints a grim picture of how these media giants, in collaboration with producers, may have knowingly exploited Wendy during a highly vulnerable time. Filmed without a valid contract and released without the guardian's consent, the documents allege, it's a situation that raises the question: could this be yet another case of a celebrity being manipulated by those in power, particularly those with close ties to Diddy, who has been accused of silencing anyone who dares to challenge him?
I have no money, and I'm going to tell you something. If it happens to me, it could happen to you.
The documentary, according to the network's counterclaim, was greenlit with the support of Wendy's manager and family. But considering her medical condition, how much of that support was genuine, and how much was pushed by opportunistic forces with their own agendas? Some insiders believe that Wendy's vocal opposition to Diddy in the past might have made her a target for those who want to control the narrative, especially as her health and ability to fight back has weakened. As her condition worsens, Wendy Williams becomes yet another name in a long line of those who have been torn down by the very industry they once thrived in, paying a heavy price for speaking out and refusing to stay silent. But as her guardianship battle continues, there's one question that remains. Is this just a tragic coincidence, or is there something darker at play? When you start to piece the puzzle together, Wendy Williams' tragic decline feels like more than just an isolated incident. It's a pattern that becomes chillingly clear when you think about it. Even if you want to give Diddy the benefit of the doubt, say he had nothing to do with Wendy's current state, it's impossible to ignore how eerily consistent these stories are. Everyone who has dared to speak out about his alleged misdeeds either ends up dead or as good as. Wendy is just the latest name on a list that's growing too long to ignore. Here's a woman who made a career out of calling out industry elites and pulling back the curtain on their secrets, including Diddy's. And now?
Without Puffy,
Right.
They ran 11 lights to elude the cops. Supposedly it was Puffy, although people are saying they saw a female hand tossing a gun out the window. And then when the cops stopped them, they found a second gun, of course, in the car.
She's battling a progressive disease that has left her legally incapacitated, unable to fight for herself, and vulnerable to exploitation by the same industry she once held accountable. Coincidence? Maybe. But how many coincidences does it take before it starts to look like a pattern? Think back to others who have spoken out about Diddy, from Tupac and Biggie, whose deaths remain shrouded in mystery, to Kim Porter, whose sudden and unexplained death still raises eyebrows. There's a haunting trend of people who challenge Diddy meeting untimely and tragic ends, and those who aren't dead? They've been silenced, discredited, or like Wendy, left in a state where they can't defend themselves. Even if Diddy's hands are clean in Wendy's situation, it's mind-boggling that these tragic stories keep revolving around the same name. It's almost as if the industry itself has a way of protecting its power players while systematically tearing down anyone who dares to challenge them. And Wendy's guardianship battle only highlights how vulnerable even the most iconic figures can become once they lose their ability to fight back. The 60-year-old TV presenter and former radio host Wendy Williams has never been one to hold back, especially when it comes to Sean Combs. Williams, a longtime critic of the 54-year-old music mogul, didn't mince words following his arrest on September 16th on charges of racketeering and ST. While Combs has denied the allegations and remains in jail without bond, Williams made her stance crystal clear. Reacting to the shocking news, Williams told the Daily Mail, "You know how I feel about that. It's about time." That's all for today. We hope you liked that video, and if you did, please like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos like this.